So many courses, so many business opportunities, so many different options on the internet, and they all seem amazing. I don't know what to do. Find out on today's episode of Serve No Master. Today's episode is brought to you by WritingJobs. When you want to get paid for the words you write, the best place to turn to, and the place I always go, is WritingJobs. To find out what they have available today to get you paid this week, go to servenomaster.com/WritingJobs.
Are you tired of dealing with your boss? Do you feel underpaid and underappreciated? If you want to make it online, fire your boss and start living your retirement dreams now, then you've come to the right place. Welcome to Serve No Master Podcast, where you'll learn how to open new revenue streams and make money while you sleep. Presented live from a tropical island in the South Pacific by best-selling author Jonathan Green. Now, here's your host.
There's a lot of information out there about getting to the life that you want. One of the challenges, and I know it's something that I faced when I was first starting out, is that there's so much information out there, and a lot of it's great. And most of the information out there has a really good presentation. The sales letters, the videos, the emails, they're all written by amazing copywriters, and many of them are better copywriters than me. Many of them have much better, more motivating stories than I could ever write. They're just written brilliantly. And you see all these great ways to wealth. The truth is, there's thousands of ways to make money online. There's thousands of ways to build your own business and follow your own path. Many, many, many different ways that actually work. Not only are you inundated with different ways of making money online, they're all real. So it's not like you're sifting between the ones that work and the ones that don't work. It's more complicated than that. It's very easy to get caught up following 10 different systems that will all actually work. The problem is that we get distracted when we try to follow too many paths at the same time. When we try to learn different skills, we don't really go into the nitty-gritty. I spent the last year and a half totally focused on breaking into Amazon. I wanted to open up another revenue stream in addition to my ghostwriting, in addition to my direct response stuff. I wanted to expand into a new area, and that's all I worked on. I really wanted to start this podcast a year ago as well. I wanted to start the podcast, and I wanted to start doing Amazon books at the same time. But I know that I can't learn and master two things at the same time. If I tried that, I would have had a half-decent podcast, and my books would have done okay, but not great. I would have been learning a little this and a little that. It's very hard to mix up your focus. And you don't know how much focus different things are going to take. You don't know how much time a project's going to take you to learn until you start doing it. There are certain parts, even of building up Serve No Master, there's certain things that I had to work on that took way longer than I thought they would. The book Serve No Master is the longest book I've ever written. It's almost 90,000 words. It's right around that number. I didn't realize, because I write books that are a third that length. I normally write in the 25 to 35,000 word range for most of my ghostwriting projects. To write a book that's 3 times longer, it wasn't hard because I was writing from the heart, but editing it turned into a total monster. The book had to go through 7 edits. It took huge amounts of time just because it's so long that all these little grammar and spelling mistakes can slip through the cracks. Even after I read the book myself 5 or 6 times, I had to bring in 2 separate people to go and read through and edit it. So I didn't see that in advance. And that's even though I've been doing Amazon for a year and a half. So you're going to run into challenges that you don't expect. When you're deciding which path to follow, you want to find something that resonates with you. Now, you might resonate with this podcast, but have no interest in my blog or my book or my courses because they don't fit the path you want to go down. If you really want to learn buying and selling traffic, you want to learn that type of arbitrage, I'm not the right person to learn from because I'm not an expert. If your dream is to sell physical products, if you want to sell toothbrushes through Amazon or sell air conditioners directly from your own website, that's stuff I don't know anything about. So you're moving into an area of making money online, building a business online that's outside my area of expertise. And I totally admit that. I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert at things that I'm not very good at. There's things that I know a lot about. I'm an expert at writing. I'm an expert at product creation, direct response marketing. That area of product creation is really my strongest area. Copywriting, I'm getting better and better at. I'm very strong in that area now. But physical products is something I don't know anything about. Paid traffic, I do very little in that area. I don't know anything about running Facebook ads. I've never done it personally. And it's the kind of thing that has to be the only thing you do if you want to go into that. As you're choosing the path and you're in this area right now where you're kind of figuring things out and you're kind of realizing that you do want to open additional revenue streams, you want to just pick one path. And if it's not me, that's okay. You don't have to follow me through everything. You might follow this podcast because I motivate you and you get excited and you're really interested in the lifestyle stuff, but maybe the path for you is an area outside of my expertise, and that's okay. What I don't want you to do is overwhelm yourself with too much information, overwhelm yourself with too many leaders to follow. Even if you follow one of the big name gurus, and there's a ton of really great guys out there, and I'm probably going to get a bunch of interviews next year when I go back to America. I'm going to go back and get some really amazing interviews for you. They're coming soon. Those guys release different methods all the time. So even the top guys, even me, you can go to my website right now. I have several different courses out there. I have courses on nonfiction writing. I have a course on how to become a best-selling author, how to really understand the Amazon and build an entire business around Amazon books and launching a book on Amazon and building a mailing list and building a following, all of that stuff. I have a giant course on that. But I also have a course on learning how to make videos, and I have a course on starting your own little SEO company. But you shouldn't try to do both. Those are very different things. The SEO company is really because some of the people interning with me were talking about what's the quickest way to make money in my area. And it's one of the quicker ways. I'm really into helping you build up your war chest with something small. Help you build a little business that's making $500 or $1,000 a month. And then you can use that money to grow. That way you don't have to take a part of your paycheck. And for many people, an extra $500, $1,000 a month would really change their lives. I'm really about offering at level one a simplistic way to quickly make a little bit of extra money, to really help boost your income. But some of these other gurus are these really great guys. They have courses that teach you 20 different methods, and they're all really great methods. But if you get caught up trying to learn all of them at once, you'll get stuck. I've talked about it before. I call it shiny object syndrome or getting really distracted and how important focus is. But as much as getting caught by products is overwhelming, also following too many different gurus or leaders. For me, I'm really just trying to share my life and help people succeed in the same way. There's even 10 or 15 really great bloggers that all write about becoming laptop entrepreneurs or digital nomads, people who travel full time and write about their travels and write little books about their travels. And there's different paths as well, just following that. My blog is just one, and some of the other blogs are much more travel heavy. Some are much more driven about travel to lots of different countries, whereas I've moved past that. I travel to a lot of countries, but now that I've got kids going on, for a little while at least, I'm stable in this country. My travel experience might be different than what you're looking for. If you want to read about someone who's going to a different country every few weeks, I'm not the right person. You want to find a guru, you want to find a leader who you resonate with their story and their method of growth is something that really appeals to you. Sometimes I talk to people and the path to success they want to take will take a very long time. Just the other day, actually, someone approached me through one of my intern applications and said, I really want to become a copywriter. And I said, well, that's amazing. That's great. What's your experience? What have you written? And basically, his level was at absolute zero. He'd never written anything really good. He'd never written anything that was really sellable. And he hadn't gone through any courses. He hadn't read any books. He'd read no books about copywriting, been through no course about copywriting. He'd watched, I think, a few YouTube videos. And I said, look, copywriting is great, but you have to understand it's a long process to profit. Because right now, I'm actually trying to find someone to take over the Amazon side of my business, to run my pen name authors. I have 3 active pen names. I want to launch a 4th one. And I want someone else to really run that side of the business because I don't have as much time. I'm really passionate right now about this Serve No Master stuff, about building this brand, about launching some really cool contests and competitions and helping people to start their blogs, helping people to write their first book, helping people to really move in that direction. That's what I'm excited about. I want someone to handle that part. So that's what I put an ad out saying, I want to train someone and eventually you'd start running a division for me, part of my company. And he had no interest in that. He goes, oh, well, I'd be willing to do that because then I can use that to learn copy. And I said, look, we're looking at 2 different goals here. Your goal is to become a really great copywriter, and that's fine. I'm already working with another copy intern, someone else that I'm teaching copy, someone who's got a little more experience, someone who can actually block out stuff that I can then take and tighten up and improve and move into the direction that matches my voice. He was so driven by his desire that he missed the opportunity. And people do this a lot. So I want you to, as much as you're following your passion, also pay attention to opportunities. Sometimes you'll see a course that seems really exciting. Oh, I'd love to be able to do that. But it will take you 2 years to make your first dollar. Now, eventually you could be very successful with some of these systems, but sometimes you spend so long trying to learn something that by the time you get there, you've lost all your motivation. It's very hard to stay the course and make no money for 2 years. To really make it as a copywriter with no plan and really no structure, you're not going to really make good money for 6 months or a year. You can make okay money. You can make side money. You can get to $1,000 a month very quickly. And I talked about that in a previous podcast episode. But this guy wanted to make the big money. And compared to the money you could make working for me and running part of my Kindle business, part of my Amazon business, they're not comparable. I have a big business making money and I want someone to help me run it, manage it, and be part of the team. And he totally missed the boat. I interact with people a lot like this because I always get responses, even though I posted an ad looking for an intern a long time ago, 4 or 5 months ago. So every once in a while I get a random email from someone who sees this old message. You want to see the opportunity to quick wealth as well. There's a lot of advantage to learning something and being able to pay your bills quickly. I want you to think about the shortest path to wealth as much as you're also following your passion. It's important to find that balance and not to go too far in one direction and too far in the other. Going into a full make money endeavor that you hate doing, you're going to be disappointed. But going in the other direction and just doing something that's a passion project and that might never make any money, blowing off all the opportunities to make a little bit of money in the meantime, that'll also leave you disappointed. We want to find a balance where you find a teacher that's teaching something that resonates with you and that connects with what you want to write about and what you want to do, but can also help you to start making money. I don't want you to wait 6 months to make money from listening to this podcast. Honestly, if you listen to the previous episodes, you don't have to listen to the episodes coming after this one. In the previous episodes, I outlined several different ways you can get to $1,000 a month within the next 6 weeks. And there's follow-on materials on my website. And I'm going to be adding a lot more amazing blog posts. I have probably 50 blog posts all about starting your first blog, writing, a couple of cool contests about writing that I'm going to launch to help people become really great writers quickly. You don't have to buy anything from me. You don't have to buy any of my courses. If you want to go advanced and kind of get really great at writing, you can do that. You could successfully be making money very quickly. It's just about implementation. That's what I believe in. I believe in quickly making money. When you're choosing the method you're going to follow, when you're choosing a system, what I want you to do is just find one person that you resonate with and follow their system. There are 4 or 5 other people teaching really amazing Amazon systems that are very different than mine. I'm not even the only person that does bestseller coaching and that really likes Amazon stuff and really loves Kindle. There's other people that have a totally different approach. My approach is very heavily driven towards writing for nonfiction because that's my area of expertise. But if your area of passion is fiction, maybe you want to find a fiction writer because you like listening to them. My method works very well for fiction. But it's also about feeling a connection with the person you're listening to, with the person who's teaching you their method. Choosing a guru, choosing the teacher in front of you is very important. If you choose someone who's not really successful or kind of pretending or living a life you don't connect with, then you're eventually going to lose that passion. When you're choosing someone to follow, you want to find someone who's been successful for a long time. Someone I know recently started a really interesting idea on Facebook. And he launched this idea and was testing something. It was the first time he ever tried anything online. He's 21 years old and he was making $1,000 a day within a few weeks. And for about 6 months, every day he made $1,000 a day. But then Facebook saw what he was doing and they changed their terms and conditions. And now his entire business model is canceled. I have several friends who saw what he was doing and were starting to replicate it. They were following the teachings of someone and then the whole pyramid collapsed. No one else can follow that system. It's now banned. Method is not allowed anymore. They changed one of the ways their software works as far as adding people and fans to your page and getting people to visit your website from Facebook. He's totally out of business. Even though he was doing really well and even though it was really exciting for a while to follow his method, he'd only been doing it 6 months. So you want to find someone who's actually making money online for a long time. I've been making a full-time living since February of 2010. That's when I got fired from my job. Since then, I haven't worked a day in an office. You can look at how long I've been doing this, and that's a measurement of my success. Now, there's people that have been doing it long as I have and make a lot more money than me. And there's people that have been doing it longer than me and make a lot less money. But the longevity and the consistency shows you that I know how to build a business that lasts. I know how to continue making money without ever having to consider going back to work. And that's very valuable if you don't want to ever have an office again, if you don't ever want a boss again, if you're trapped by your wage and your salary again. And that's really the opportunity that I offer. That's the passion that I have, and that's my value as a teacher. I love creating content. I've been doing this a long time. I've worked in a lot of markets, and I have my area of expertise. When I first chose someone to follow, I found someone whose system I really connected with. The very first course I ever took and really succeeded and made money with was a course that taught me how to sell SEO and how to sell videos for local businesses. I was really in the make videos, put them on YouTube, get them to rank on Google, get a lot of traffic to the videos for small local businesses. And I worked in that for about 18 months. It was very successful for me because I had no choice but to make money. It took me 4 or 5 months before I chose the course I was going to buy. And I was very excited about it. It was very amazing. And I had a combination of an amazing course. I didn't have enough money to buy any other courses, so there was no possibility of distraction. I was totally laser focused because I couldn't afford another course. I was forced into following a single path. And I followed that guy's teachings and followed his system for 2 years until I moved out of search engine optimization, out of selling video marketing, out of working with that type of client, and into product creation. And when I moved into product creation, I hired a coach for my big launch, and I talk about it in the beginning of my book. I talk about the first time I released a product. To move into that field, I maxed out all my credit cards. My bank account was frozen. All my credit cards were frozen, and I paid a huge amount of money for a coach. 2 or 3 days after the launch, I was able to pay off everything. I paid off all the credit cards, paid off all that debt, cleared out everything. It was an amazing turnaround. I really bet heavily on myself. Each time I've built my business and moved in a new direction, I've found a teacher. I find someone who I really connect with. I'm really a big fan of buying coaching and mentorship. That's what I've invested most of my money in successfully. So most of the times when I've done something well, it's come from a mentorship element. You want to find someone that at the top of the pile, you can get to a point where they offer one-on-one coaching, where they offer long-term coaching, where they have a really good mastermind type program where you can get a lot of time from them. That's why I offer and I'm starting to build out more and more coaching offers. For a long time, for the last 3 years, I've done almost no coaching. I used to sell a lot of coaching. It used to be the main thing I did, one-on-one coaching, group coaching, a lot of phone calls. As I traveled, it became impractical. I didn't have a fixed time zone. Sometimes I'd be in different countries where there was no good cell phone reception. Internet reception was terrible some places that I've traveled through. That limited me. It's why I shifted more and more heavily into product creation. In fact, to move to the island I live on, I originally planned on only being online once a week. The last time I came here 3 or 4 years ago, the internet would go out for 4 or 5 days at a time. The power would go out 2 days at a time. I was used to that lifestyle. But now the technology and infrastructure here is strong, so I can actually do a lot more coaching. That's the way I learned. And so that's the type of teaching I want to offer more and more of. I run a coaching call every Monday night for people in my bestseller coaching program that are really focused on taking their Amazon to the next level. I love that level of coaching because it allows me to really dial into what people are doing and see where they get stuck. A lot of times when I go through a program as a student, I'll hit a point where I get stuck and I don't know what to do, and I need access to the teacher to get over that point. Oftentimes, it's not the same pain point that other people got stuck at. Everyone runs into different challenges, and I find that mentorship is very valuable. And it's why when I talk about networking, I often say, you can just buy an hour of coaching from someone that you're really into, and that gets you on their radar. It's often very valuable. I, right now, offer 1 hour of coaching on my website. If someone wants to hop on the phone with me, there's a little button, and you can actually connect with me, and we can be on the phone within a day or two. I don't know how long I'm going to leave that up because I think it's going to start getting more and more busy over the next few weeks, and eventually I'll have to take it down because I don't have enough time, even though I love doing it. I'd love to talk to someone new every day or a couple people a day, but I only have so much time available. But when you want to learn something from someone, buying an hour of coaching for them is a way to get on their radar. So whoever you choose, it doesn't have to be me. You choose someone else. And there's some amazing travel bloggers out there. There's some people that are teaching amazing systems that are very hands-off for building your first online business, kind of taking care of your family, adding that revenue stream. Find someone that you resonate with. Find someone whose teachings you really like. And what I want you to check is see how their coaching program works. Do they have a mastermind group? Do they have a one-on-one coaching program? Do they have something where as you build your business, as you get to the top level, as you start making money from their first course, you can invest and actually get more and more help from them? You're going to reach a point where you need that. For me, every time my business moved in a new direction or I grew, it came from mentorship. It came from having someone in front of me to really teach me. I went through and worked with this one mentoring group to learn my first business. And then I hired a private coach to take me through launching products from SEO and video to products. So moving out of client services and into product creation. And then when I wanted to learn how to build a business structure, one of my friends, someone I've worked with for a very long time, and we've even done a couple of books together, he had a really, really successful business, and it was blowing my mind how much money he was making. And I just watched the way he structures business. I watched the way he structures employees. And just by being friends and getting mentored by him, I learned how to be very, very financially successful. I learned how to build a very large business. Watching people, getting to observe someone's very important. There's some really amazing, really big name gurus out there, but they charge $25,000 a month to get time with them because they've been doing it so long, because they're so far up the mountain. They're way higher up the mountain than me, that you'll never be able to afford their private coaching. It'll be 3 or 4 years of business before you could really say, hey, yeah, I can spend 25 grand a month just to talk to someone. You want to find someone whose coaching hypothetically you could afford, someone whose coaching is like $500 or $1,000 a month. So when you start making $2,000 or $3,000 a month, it makes sense to invest, connect with that person, and grow your business that way. Keep that in mind. Choose a guru who's been doing what they've been doing for a long time, has longevity, and is not too far up the mountain that you could never connect with them. When you choose someone that's all the way at the top of the mountain and you're just starting out and you hire coaching from them, you'll discover that they have someone else handling the coaching on their behalf. You never actually get to the top person, and you don't want to get stuck in that situation. I can tell you right now, because I know some of these really big name guys, and I partner with some very well-known people throughout my career. I've seen how their coaching infrastructure works. You end up getting coaching from someone who works for the business and who's never actually done it themselves. They're just repeating what they've been taught as part of a training program. You don't want that. You want to speak to the actual person. That's why if you buy coaching from me, you're going to talk to me. You're not going to talk to one of my assistants. They don't do that. They wouldn't know how to teach you because they don't do what I do. They know how to be a great assistant. If you want to learn how to be an assistant, I can have my assistant teach you. But if you want to learn and get to the highest level, you want to be sure that you can eventually get to a point where you can actually access the person directly, get coaching from them, get a relationship with them, grow from that relationship. That's where the real value is. As much as we get caught up by the hype and excitement of amazing sales pages and amazing offers and all these great things we want to buy and ideas we want to try, you want to start by following a path until it leads to success. You want to follow a single method until you make your money back before you buy another course. And when you're choosing the guru and you're choosing the person you want to follow, you want to find someone who's been doing it for a long time, so they have a business rather than a product. And then you want to find someone who also has a coaching element, whether it's group coaching or face-to-face coaching or live events, where you'll actually get real access to them in a way that's valuable. There's some coaching programs where they're very expensive. And I don't want to name names here, but there's some coaching programs where you pay $50,000 or $75,000 and you go and there's 500 other people there that bought the same coaching program. You could pay huge amounts of money and you never get any face time with the person you paid. These events are great for networking. They're great for connections. There's a lot of value there. But where you're at, you need to find someone you can actually talk to one-on-one to really help you build your business. When it comes to writing, I really know what I'm doing. I get offers for jobs all the time, for really big jobs. I work with amazing clients all the time around the world. I always have tons of work in front of me because I've been doing it so long. So I'm really an expert in my field. So that's what I teach about. And that's the thing I love to share the most. My expertise leads to my coaching, and it's a path that people can follow. When you're choosing the teacher and choosing the path you're going to invest in and follow, make sure they've been doing the same thing for a long time. Make sure that the method they're teaching you isn't something they just started 3 months ago. Make sure it's something that has been working for a long time. It's something that you're excited about doing. If you hate writing, the thought of writing books is your worst nightmare, don't follow my writing path because you'll hate it. Maybe the best thing for you is starting your own podcast. And I'm going to share more and more of how I launched this podcast coming up in the future. And I'll share with you some of the secrets and tactics, and I'll write about my blog as well. Find a path that meets those criteria and gets you excited. And that is how you can achieve amazing growth with the right guru, the right teacher, the right leader in front of you. To celebrate the launch of this podcast, I'm giving away some epic prizes. You could win an Amazon tap and have me personally turn you into a best-selling author. To win your part of over $20,000 in prizes, go to servenomaster.com/contest.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Serve No Master. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss another episode. We'll be back tomorrow with more tips and tactics on how to escape that rat race. Head over to servenomaster.com/podcasts now for your chance to win a free copy of Jonathan's bestseller, Serve No Master. All you have to do is leave a 5-star review of this podcast. See you tomorrow.